Welcome, Warcraft 2 fans, to Lale versus Unforgiven in the Tournament of Brazilians. We have no better two Brazilians than Lale and Unforgiven. Today's episode brought to you in part by Duda Curtin and U83 I Go P. Duda Curtin on his Twitch TV watching here. If you want to see more Twitch TV action from Duda Curtin, make sure you check out his Twitch TV. Already, we do see a red versus white players here. Don't really know whom is whom quite yet, but I'm sure Double A Trooper, also known as Duda Curtin, will fill us in quite soon on whom is whom. Moving down south, we do see the high five between these two players. And it's going to be a neighbor war, indeed. It looks like up in the red it is Lale, and with the white it is Unforgiven. So Lale going to attempt to build a guard tower at the northern section of the base for for Unforgiven's base. And in the meantime, it does look like that Unforgiven is building up inside Lale's base as well. A pig farm seems like it is. Lale quickly gets off onto the guard tower, but as one peon was able to get there to the back of that base rather quickly, don't expect that these two towers will deal way too much damage. Meanwhile, it does seem like Lale's peon, Unforgiven's peon is indeed getting picked off as well. So neither player going to have that successful of a harassment. Both players able to successfully defend each other's peons off. Today's episode also brought to you in by Duda Curtin's 2v2 tournaments. Yesterday was a 2v2 tournament in which WG and Swift were able to defeat U83I03P and DJ Boss for the victory. Unforgiven now doing a tower rush of his own up outside of the base of Lale. Lale with 3 guard towers there to answer that, and it looks like all the guard towers are in range actually to dispel any repairing here or not. No, they don't seem to be actually quite in range, but 3 guard towers going to be able to knock out that offensive tower quick enough so where it does not deal any too significant amount of damage. Then those towers are going to be able to help him out in destroying that pesky placed farm right in the middle of the gold flow. In answer to this, Unforgiven going to build a barracks out here. Wants to get his catapult production up and add them very quickly. Not a bad choice. He repairs his blacksmith, so we can already assume that there is a catapult being created up there. And then he's gonna repair his farm, so it must be that he needed that farm to get that catapult started, and that was indeed the case. All right, there's his goal for Australia. Australia with the goal. They must be watching the World Cup. Australia making it to the World Cup this last time. Brazil also in the World Cup. The World Cup must be going on right at this moment. Dos tímicos. Tipo Palmeiras times Flamengo. Always excited to watch the World Cup, and these two players are Brazilian, so we know that they're going to be watching the World Cup. And here already with the catapult, it's going to be start to harassment, but the chop out is already complete. That was a very good chop out here from Lale. So which tower will be targeted down first? It might be that one that's quite well damaged. And even there goes the repair. So good idea to start that repair on that tower. Wants to be able to hold off any kind of catapult barrage. And Unforgiven, Double A Trooper says that Unforgiven's AFK. I don't think this is the case. I think that he realizes that assaulting his 3 towers without any grunt protection will just lead to his catapult being quickly destroyed. And we can see there that it is not the case. Unforgiven, not AFK in the least bit. So the defensive catapult now out, and then that's going to be the start of a catapult duel, it seems like. So both catapults making their way up to the front lines to start this catapult duel. And right away, Lale with a quick attack, able to get a huge damage done with one catapult blast. And that's going to send Unforgiven's catapult running away with its tail between its legs, at least for the moment, behind his protective line of grunts. Whoa, where is that catapult going? Catapult got a little bit ambitious there, driving way out and about outside of the defensive fortifications. So far, the placement of everything favors Unforgiven. Lale's going to need to start thinking about busting out of here. He's going to need to expand here some point in this game. Both players committing very heavily to this early game aggression, or defense, I should say, from Lale. But at some point, there's going to be an expansion. 6 peons here to repair that tower. So despite all, and look at the defensive play by Lale, and now 3 catapults here with the aggression, but 1 catapult taken down very quickly. These must be upgraded catapults as well, because they're just really tearing through these towers despite the repairing happening there. And lots of grunts coming out to sacrifice themselves, but the smooth maneuvers of these unupgraded catapults is going to be able to have them dodge every last grunt axe, and both of them going to survive quite well. Still, the repairing of these peons, they keep sacrificing themselves for the good of the colony. And 3 more grunts going to make their way out here, and it is advertisement time, so I'll pause the recording. All right, and advertisement's over. So it looks like Lale was successful indeed when from defending this, but here comes the grunts able to sneak on in there. And that could be the end of Lale right now, as Unforgiven moves on in with his catapults here now. But Lale actually had the grunt superiority, so he's going to take out this catapult. That catapult got a little too ambitious, or did it? Yes, indeed it did. And now the Double A Trooper needs to check his lunchtime. So these grunts moving on up to deal some damage to this lumber mill, but I think there is a guard tower being completed in there, which should be able to hold these off. Still, that's a lot of repairing necessary to defend off this attack. Things just not looking up for Lale, not in the least bit, as more and more grunts continuously pour in to strike here with great vengeance. And will the lumber mill make it? Due to Curtains off checking the time for his lunch, so maybe he will be right back due to Curtain AFK, or Double A Trooper, I should say. And then there's a nice little choke set up there from Unforgiven, a 4-to-1 choke. They're not getting out of there anytime soon. He's gonna send 1 grunt up there to sacrifice himself. Probably was at low hit points anyway. And now we can see the game turn into a bit of a lull, as once again the World Cup being watched right now, and also the lunch being watched from due to Curtain. Ew, an axe thrower makes its way down here to throw a couple of hatchets, and Double A Trooper is back. So that's J8303P. He can't. His wife wants to go to Christmas market soon. Dang, it's always with the wife wanting to go to the Christmas market soon. And a nice wall off just at the nick of time, sneaking out all the grunts. Christmas market, LOL. We got November, says U83O3P. We have since dude at Curtin Uggs to go to Christmas market. We have since 1411 to January. So that would be November, right before Thanksgiving, all the way until January. Two ogres making their way out here to destroy that catapult, and there's nowhere for the catapult to run. So inevitably, it is destroyed indeed. And now is the time of the game when both players really going to want to look towards the expansions. Lale really up against the ropes this entire game. His opponent, meanwhile, already at tier number 3. So Unforgiven taking a commanding lead in this game so far. I would not be surprised to see Unforgiven in the victory slot in the near future. Dun 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 dun. Still 1 month to Christmas, but whatever, says U83IO3P. A cannon tower actually is Winter Lights. The event says Double H Rooper, 2 months of Winter Lights. Dun 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 dun. I don't know if they have winter at this time of year down there in the South Pole. I think the winter is at a different time of year, isn't it? Or maybe winter is summer down there. All right, nice chop out here from Lale. He needs to make something happen because Bloodlust and Death and Decay are going to be happening very rapidly, so he has a very small window of opportunity in order to make something happen before Bloodlusted Ogres are knocking at his door, son. Going to be interesting to see where he plans to make his next expansion, as the Bloodlust just mere moments away from arriving. And he just started researching it now. Still, White wins this, says Double H Trooper, calling it for Unforgiven. Unforgiven, the Brazilian. No way, says U83IO3P. There's a smiley face from Double H Trooper. We never knows. It's Unfor, says Double A Trooper. Nice commentary on the sound effects here. But here comes the push out from Lale. Lale making the push out now. He sees that he has up against the Bloodlusted Ogres very soon. And he's not going to sit inside these towers here and take that battle. So Bloodlusted Ogres now going to be knocking at the door. Lots of peons coming down to repair this lumber mill. And actually going to choose to repair the farm. Not too shabby of a repair job from all of these. And there's the LOL from U83IO3P, as Unforgiven managed to get his ogre army smashed. And Bloodlust hasn't yet to arrive, but he at least has an attempt to make it there. Still, Ogre is coming to knock at that expansion very soon. And remember that the 11 o'clock expansion has an extra 5,000 gold. So here he is knocking at the bottom door of the small 9 position. And he's going to be going to break down that farm. Lale making a comeback here. At least it seems like it he is. Able to take out that farm, and then he's going to move on to pastures greener. Still no ogre mage, and we do have a DK down there to dispel that, so Unforgiven should be pretty okay that there. And then these 3 ogres gonna sneak on in, and that could be GG right here, or will it, as once again Lale able to successfully defend that assault. And with 7,000 gold in the mine, he's still no bloodlust for Lale. Unforgiven still has not yet to take the game. And Bloodlust has now arrived for Lale. So Lale can make himself a counter assault here. And that's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to Bloodlust up his ogres, bring in the axe thrower even to take a couple of hits, and he's gonna go ahead and make a huge play, attacking these guard towers right out front. destroying them, and then going to get the jump on any of these ogres before they're able to get bloodlusted up themselves. So one ogre is able to get bloodlusted up, and that's all that is needed to take down that assault force. So now we do see Unforgiven has just now chopped out, and he's got 2 DKs waiting to death and decay up this area. But Lale just seems to get luck after luck, catching these Death Knights completely off guard. And now it is Lale who seems to be having the bit of an advantage here, as both of Unforgiven's ogres are in a terribly placed position to be spawning. And Lale coming out swinging here is able to take down that cannon tower for defense, but we don't see any barracks producing ogres from Lale. And this game, ladies and gentlemen, has just turned quite exciting, as while there is 0 gold being mined from Lale, Unforgiven has 0 ogres being produced. Red wins, says Double A Trooper. Double A Trooper been terrible at calling these games so far. In fact, I'd venture to say that whatever Double A Trooper says is going to happen is probably not set to happen, as Unforgiven still has quite a bit of nice defenses up here with his DKs, his Death Knights, and all that jazz. So he's going to easily dispel this Red Ogre army, but Red has now made it a game by bringing his entire mining operation over to the 2 o'clock position. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a Warcraft 2 game here now between these 2 Brazilian combatants, almost as exciting as the World Cup, if not more so. Alright, Bloodlusted Ogre is going to try to catch these repairing peons off guard. But no, he's going to have Death and Decay there, quickly able to clean all this up. And then builds another barracks right where it needs to be to wall that off. Wow, W-O-W, all in caps lock. Meanwhile, down here at the small 9 o'clock position, the defense is galore, as it does seem like Lale's throwing a lot of effort into attacking this 9 o'clock. He wants to keep all attention at this 9 o'clock. Oh, here we have another advertisement. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, in this nail-biter of a game. Already, we do see more and more Bloodlusted Ogre army action come pouring down here. And actually a nice breakthrough here from Lale, which was once a dead set victory for Unforgiven, has now turned into unforeseen consequences as the small 9 explosion happens here. Lale just might have pulled himself back into this game. His 2 o'clock position completely unhampered, setting up the small 12 o'clock position as well. And his assault after assault, Lale pauses the game. He says, Despertador. Don't know what that. Okay, never mind. Let's go. Miles. Okay, go, go, go. What an action-packed game we do see here now as we just stare at these trees and the forest here. But ladies and gentlemen, best bet it is been and has been an action-packed game from Dude Curtin, whose wife is telling him he's got to go Christmas shopping at the Christmas market, the Festival of Lights, the 2-month period. It's coming your way very soon here. Huge amounts of Bloodlusted Ogre armies actually making their way up to the 2 o'clock spot. They're checking every spot, so as soon as they arrive at that 2 o'clock spot, it could be curtains for Lale. But Lale's still not out of this game yet. And really, Unforgiven has not been mining here, not in the least bit, for a little bit of time. So here we go with the Bloodlusted army. He knows it's going to be the 2 o'clock, so he bloodlusts his ogres up, precursor to this. And then actually going to check the 12 o'clock first. And now I think that Lale knows that he's in trouble as 5 bloodlusted ogres are making their way down to that 2 o'clock position. He's going to have to try to get there, but he's already walled it all off. And here comes the ogres. There's the gold mine that was once so prosperous and so helpful to Lale is now becoming a massacre site as 5 bloodlusted ogres punch every single peon in the face. A few ogres arrive, but too little too late, as none of them are bloodlusted. So he's able to bloodlust up a couple of them, but it's not enough. And 4 bloodlust ogres still remain. Still 4 ogres out here. Can he bloodlust them up in time? And he does indeed. So he's able to clean up this small ogre army assault. And then check it out, Lale's actually taking the small 5 o'clock position. He wants to think a little bit more towards the late game. We've been missing quite a bit of action here at the front door, though, as Lale makes headway into the base of Unforgiven. And this has been one heck of a nail-biter of a game, ladies and gentlemen. Highly recommendable, highly commendable, most definitely something you want to be checking out in the future of Wiki Warcraft 2. So, Death and Decay, a nice defensive tool, and another Ogre Army Assault's going to be at that 2 o'clock position. Doesn't seem like Lale wants to defend that too well, as he does have that small 12 o'clock position that's mining much more heartily than others. And then here his super secret small 5 position also under assault. But this game has been such a nail biter, back and forth. And here Lale this time catching the relieving ogres off guard, and he's moving his way towards that small 12 o'clock position. Definitely going to need to get some ogres here if he wants to stay inside this game. Because that's going to be all of his mining right here disrupted. So Lale no longer mining here, as ogres at every single one of his bases. And he does have a relieving ogre army, but they're not quite bloodlusted up to the perfection that they needed to be to wipe that out. Or are they? They do indeed take that small bit of a force out. Still, the 8 o'clock mining very heartily, or at least about to be. And that's at least one spot that is mining throughout all the spots in this game. Lale has made huge headway into the base of Unforgiven. However, he's completely wiped out everything at the 9 o'clock spot. And Unforgiven versus Lale. There's a lot of nice relieving amount of peons here. And now these barracks in jeopardy. Look at these ogres standing next to one another. Finally, one bloodlusted up, but it's 2 versus 4. Who will win? The 4 obviously able to defeat the 2. Might not have been the best time to attack there. And no blacksmith for Unforgiven. Another ogre army assault here. And no blacksmith to produce any more ogres. So Lale taking down the blacksmith. And this time he's going to actually ignore that small 9 position and move straight out towards the 8 o'clock spot. This could be a game ender right here, as the peons frantically try to repair that blacksmith. Both players with the knives at each other's throats. And both players see blood spilling all over the battlefield as all the peons are massacred. Alright, this is going to be one heck of a nail-biting finish to what a game, as the 8 o'clock has now been destroyed. The small 12 o'clock has been destroyed. The 2 o'clock barely holding on by the hairs of its chin. And we can still not call a victor, as 3 ogres moving on over to that 2 o'clock spot. What a nail-biter. Double A trooper without any predictions. He still doesn't know who's going to win this game. And those 4 ogres able to be cleaned up here. Yes, the 2 o'clock spot is being assaulted, but some relieving ogres there. And the 6 o'clock now being taken. Wow, what a nail biter. Still no clear victor here. I don't know who played worse, says U83 IO3P. I don't know who played better. They both played so dang well. What an epic game of these two Brazilians. Both players, neither one watching the World Cup. The one who's gonna lose played worse, says Double A Trooper. But who is that indeed? So U83 IO3P with some insulting words. And here comes the 6 o'clock spot now being seen as these ogres do the one punch knockout on these peons. Oh, yes, says U83 IO3P. Crust dozy Bernie, says U83 IO3P. He must be whispering to his friends. Probably Jesk. Alright, and the game still wears on. We do actually have a Death Knight sneaking on up towards that 2 o'clock position, and he's going to be completely not seen by any of these ogres. And both players with a trickle mining here. What a slugfest. Both players have managed to punch each other's lights out. And here comes yet another Death and Decay knockout punch from... Just when you thought it was over, it wasn't over. I said, I'm watching this. This is absolutely ludicrous as both players able to struggle to keep on after knockout punch after knockout punch. There's the GG from Unforgiven, and Unforgiven left the game. The game goes to lale. Wiki, 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 wiki. Warcraft 2. Peace out, homies.